Hey, what's going on, guys? Major League Shooter here with another video for you guys to watch. Today in specific is going to be a firearm review of the Colt 80 series government model 1911. Hey, what's going on, guys? As I've said before, I'm doing a quick review of Colt's 80 series government model 1991. So when you first purchase your firearm, it comes in this nice blue hard plastic textured case with the Colt logo on the front of it. It's a very nice case, very sturdy, not necessarily cheaply made, but it's meant to do the job, which is just basically to store the firearm. It would also be good for, say, transporting to and from the range and everything. And it also gives you the ability to lock your firearm within this case. Now this is, again, hard plastic, so it is not, bulletproof, if you will. So the reason why I'm saying that is so that you don't store your firearm in this case loaded. Now I know it's drops, the 1911 is, then the 1991 is, in a sense, drop safe, but malfunctions do happen. Just so you know. Now, when you first open your case, clearly the first thing you see is your 1911. You also have what's called a pistol plug up here, and essentially what that is just meant for, it just goes into the barrel right here within the chamber. And basically what that's for is just to basically give you a little extra added security so that you could know that the firearm is not loaded. It also comes with an extra 7-round magazine, as you can see. Now, though, really quick before I actually get into the description and the review of the firearm, I do want to bring your attention to the owner's manual. Now, I've seen tons of reviews on a variety of firearms, and most of the time they don't bring attention to the owner's manual, and I think it's absolutely critical for you to read your owner's manual, because that basically gives you all the information you need about the specific firearm. It tells you what kind of ammunition it should be shooting, what to do, what not to do, cleaning procedures, safety instruction, so on and so forth. Basically, all the information you need to know about your firearm is covered in your owner's manual. So I highly recommend you reading that before you even take your firearm to the range and have some fun with it. Now, first things first, I just want to make you guys assured that the firearm is clear. The magazine has no rounds, and the chamber is clear. Okay, so this is the brushed stainless steel 5-inch barrel 1991 Colt Series 80 government model, and I must say this is an absolute beaut. This is probably one of my favorite firearms. It shoots amazing. It's just, I can't say enough good things about this specific firearm. Now, this firearm is essentially based off of John Browning's design, but it does have a couple of added features. For example, in 1983, they added what's called the firing pin lock. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but back here there's like a little plunge, and what that is the firing pin lock. And what it does is basically get in the way of your firing pin. So if you say you drop your firearm, it will not release it will not essentially it will not shoot. It is drop safe, if you will. Now this firearm is only single action, so if the hammer is pulled forward and you pull the trigger, it will not shoot. The hammer has to be fully cocked to the rear for it to shoot. On top of that, the grip safety right here has to be defeated in order for the firearm to work as well. It also has a frame-mounted safety. Sorry, I had a little brain fart for some reason. So it does basically have all those levels of security, but of course the number one safety mechanism is your own personal brain. If you act stupid with the firearm, doesn't matter how many safeties it has, somebody's probably gonna get hurt. So just keep that in mind. It also does not have a magazine disconnect safety. So say if your magazine falls out and you do have a round in the chamber and you pull the trigger, it will still shoot. And a lot of military style weapons are basically like that. The military essentially doesn't like the fact that if it has no magazine, say you're like running down the woods or whatever, or in the desert of Afghanistan, or in the mountains of Afghanistan, excuse me, and your magazine falls out, but you have one round that will possibly save your life, then that's the kind of stuff that they look at. So it does not have a magazine disconnect safety. This, if you remember the original 1911, the sights are pretty terrible. They were very low, very hard to see and adjust your sights and everything like that. So what Colt did on the 1991 series is they featured what's called a high profile sight with dots. So the rear sight has 2 dots on the left and the right, and 1 on the front sight post. And that, because they're a little bit higher, it actually is a lot better when it comes to aiming. Makes it a lot easier, a lot more comfortable to shoot as well. Just because your assurance of you aiming in the right place is heightened. So it also has the spurred hammer. I like it. It works. It does the job absolutely. But I also like my firearm to look good, so I'm probably going to go with like the combat hammer or something like that. But it is nice. Regardless, it does do the job. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not complaining whatsoever, just so you know. It does come with the solid aluminum trigger, but again, with the same concept as the hammer, I'm probably going to go with like some skeletonized trigger or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. It does have the 5-inch barrel. I think I've already said that, but I'll say it again anyways. And on the actual slide itself, if you, well, I don't have another one to compare it with, but it does have what's called a lowered ejection port. So the ejection port sits lower, and this is basically to minimize the fact that, you know, firearms do have ejection failures from time to time. So a lowered ejection port is basically there to minimize ejection port failures. And I think it's really nice. It's not too big. It's not. It doesn't take away from the gun, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It adds to, but does not take away, which is pretty much awesome. And you know what? Something else, I really do love this brushed stainless steel. I think it's very, very nice. And the grips are they're like, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure what they're made of, but it does feel like a rubbery substance that's serrated with the Colt logo pretty much right here, just above the midway point of the firearm. Now, with an empty with no magazine, it weighs about 2.5 pounds, but with a fully loaded 7-round magazine, it's about 3 pounds. Now, 7-round magazines, you know, 7+1, it's a 7+1 essentially, but you can get, you know, say like a Wilson Combat or a Kimber Tac Mag or something like that are 8+1. And that's what this is right here. This is a Wilson Combat 8+1 magazine. It just gives you, you know, that one extra round can be the difference between life and death in a defensive situation. So I think that's something everyone should at least invest in. That's just my personal opinion. This firearm, I gotta say, it is probably my favorite handgun ever. This thing is awesome, and I know, you know, people are gonna argue with me. Glocks are better. I'm like, and I'm not taking away from Glocks whatsoever, but this has been around for over 100 years for good reason. And again, I'm not taking away from Glocks. Glocks are really good, reliable firearms. I like to say that they're good in every way, but a master of none. So I guess you could say they're like the jack of all trades, but a master of none, is what I'm saying. Colt's 1911 series, or the 1991 series, is probably the best 1911 that you can find that's mass produced in the United States. It is probably my favorite. The only close competitor, in my opinion, is probably the Remington R1. But of course, the Remington R1 is illegal in California. Had it not be illegal, I'd probably have that in my collection as well. But for now, I don't think anything even comes close to the Colt government model or the Colt series 1911s. I think they're absolutely just perfect in every sense of the word. Anything better than this is all custom guns. Like say Nighthawk or Les Bear, so on and so forth. Basically custom guns, and for good reason. You know, they spend a lot of time on their firearms. They custom make every part to fit. For example, the slide is made specifically for the frame of the firearm that they're selling you, and this goes for everything. You know, they generally have custom sights, better triggers, so on and so forth. It just depends on what you're looking for, and I'd like to think that those are more for people who already know exactly what they want out of their 1911. But say you want the best 1911 you can find on the market that's mass produced, then I highly recommend Colt's 1911. So with that being said, that concludes this quick review of this firearm. And if you wish to, you know, get a hold of me, you have some questions whatsoever, you can email me directly at MajorLeaugeShooter@gmail.com. You can find me at any one of my social media pages like Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Instagram. And I'll put the links to all that in the description below. And with that being said, thank you again for watching. God bless you. And God bless America.